Hey everybody, I'm going to make a video here showing different assorted regular vinyl finds, all kinds of artists, and I haven't made one of these in a while. And I just made a video a few videos back talking about culling my record collection and trying to liquidate stuff, get rid of stuff I'm never going to use or I'm tired of, have multiple copies of, etc., etc. It's kind of funny really when you think about it, because you can see when these recent vinyl finds are shown that I wasn't 100% successful in being able to stop buying records, but the thing is that I am managing to think about it in a different way, and I am going to try to do kind of like a one in and one out philosophy when it comes to this. I have the radio on here, just general music, so if it comes through, good. Okay, we're going to start with this, which is the Bee Gees, Best of the Bee Gees. Best of Bee Gees. I have very little Bee Gees in my collection. I mean, I only really came upon them when I was a teenager from Saturday Night Fever, so I really am not really that familiar with their earliest stuff. But this was good with the cellophane on it, and thought it would be nice to have. I know some of the hits, so we're going to give this a listen and see what we think of it. I think it was a good find. You know, I'm trying to just basically stick with the hits collections for a lot of artists. So here's a good example of getting older and not being able to remember what you already have and stuff. Now I was at a store and I found this. I found Sonny and Cher, In Case You're in Love, which is an album that has the sticker that says it includes the big new hit, The Beat Goes On. And the only thing was I was lured to it because it had its cellophane on it, and a nice copy of this album, but some of the cellophane was missing here, just a little torn here, so a little chunk of cellophane missing. So when I got back and I was preparing to make this video, I thought what I would do is just see if there's any Sonny and Cher albums I could, you know, take out of the collection to put this in, and when I did it, I found this. So I'd already had the album, and I said, oh geez, you know, so I wasted some money on it, you know. This one that I already had was already in the shrink also with the sticker, and it was even in better shape because it's a complete shrink, it's not torn. But then I noticed the difference. So one of them is in stereo and one of them is in mono, so I actually have a stereo and mono. Now what does this mean? Well, this means that it still takes me back to what I was talking about in terms of, do you need multiple copies of the same album? I'm trying to get rid of that with a lot of people. So I really only need one copy of this album. I don't need two copies, but to try to decide, I played The Beat Goes On, the song. I played the mono version, I played the stereo version to see which one I would prefer. Turned out I liked them both. So I can't decide. One of these has to go. I don't know which one. I don't know if the mono is preferable or the stereo is preferable. It depends on the individual albums, I guess. I like them both. So right now I'm kind of going to have to put them as a wait and see pile, because I'm not really sure yet what I'm going to do there. Okay, now this is another example when I went shopping recently. Roy Orbison, I found this one, In Dreams, in great condition. Decided that I really wanted this. I like Roy Orbison, and this is on the Monument label. It's in great condition. This is a mono copy. Really didn't know what to do. I mean, I have some Roy Orbison already. You're trying to get away from buying like all the individual albums, maybe keep a hits collection of certain artists, but when you see a nice condition original like this for a nice price, you go for it. So again, I'll see what I'm going to weed out of the collection later in order to accommodate these new albums. But also, two more Roy Orbisons I have here. Roy Orbison's Greatest Hits I picked up. Might even have these for all I know. Roy Orbison's Greatest Hits and more of Roy Orbison's Greatest Hits. So Roy Orbison had a big day recently, you know, for me. So these are in great shape, by the way, you know. So when I see them on the Monument label for an affordable price, although I know that's not really the question. You know, in my culling video I was talking about trying to eliminate things and keep them restricted just to that cabinet over the years, so we're going to try to do that. Here's an example of something I did. I had an album, I forget the name of it. It was a studio album, I suppose, by Little Anthony and the Imperials, and I decided I didn't really need that whole album, but so I got this, which is the best of Little Anthony and the Imperials. So I'm going to stick with this, which has a lot more of their hits on it than the studio album. So I'm going to try to go with that mindset for a lot of artists. Now this is an album. I'm not a big Tony Bennett fan. I like Rags to Riches, I Left My Heart in San Francisco, a bunch of his other songs, but not a big fan. But this is an album that I found in really nice shape, and Tony's greatest hits. It's got Rags to Riches on it, Stranger in Paradise, and Cold Cold Heart, other songs. I've always wanted this, and this is also because when I was growing up, I know my grandparents had this in their collection. I always remember this cover, but anytime I find Tony Bennett's albums like of this kind, they're always trashed, pretty bad shape. This is in really nice condition, and well, I won't take it out because it's a little difficult to get out, but it's got minty record. The record looks minty. It's on the old-fashioned Columbia label, but this is electronically rechanneled for stereo. So probably not the optimum condition for this record. Alright, this next one I picked up for one song. Well, there are a few good songs on here, but I never had this album, A Very Special Christmas. Never had it on vinyl, and reason that I really like it is I like the Stevie Nicks version of Silent Night, which I think is a really unique take on that song with her voice. And I have it on a CD, but what the heck, this was very cheap, so I added that to the collection. Now here is another case of how much do you need by a certain artist. I found these two records, Jan and Dean's Golden Hits, in great shape, and along with that, the same day, Jan and Dean's Golden Hits Volume 2. So I got two hits collections from Jan and Dean. I know I have at least one other album in the collection. I think it's a regular studio album. I have to double check it. Might even be an import. But see, this is the thing. I mean, I like Jan and Dean. Don't need all their stuff, but I thought two greatest hits is a nice thing to have. You know, see how I'm trying to rationalize within myself how I have to buy more records. You know, even though I'm trying to liquidate things. The Ventures. Here was a Ventures album that I got for $1 in nice shape. Walk Don't Run, Volume 2, The Ventures. And it's always good to be able to hear Ventures instrumentals sounds. Also, I got this one, Flights of Fantasy, The Ventures. So, got two Ventures albums recently. Okay. This next one I'm going to show here is an easy enough switcheroo. It's Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, although the lighting in here may not show it well. It's in cellophane, really great shape. I consider this to be one of the all-time greatest albums ever. I mean, I really wanted this in the most pristine copy I could find, and this was in the original shrink and nice. I already had a nice copy of it, but not as nice as this, so that's an easy pull one out and put the other one in routine. Then I saw this, which again, do I need it? I don't know. I was reading the song titles on this, and it was Martha and the Vandellas' greatest hits. Martha Reeves. So they got a lot of great hits that I like, and I don't have anything in my collection, I don't think, by Martha and the Vandellas. So this really fills a gap. You know, you notice I'm trying to fill a lot of gaps, right? Create more tightness in my collection. Now here's an example of something where you think to yourself, oh, do I really need this? I love Diana Ross and the Supremes. I have a lot of Supremes records, a lot of hits albums by them. This one I got because it was only $5. You know, Diana Ross and the Supremes' greatest hits. But the reason I picked it up, to be honest with you, and this shows how we have addictions when it comes to collecting, I really only wanted to get this one because it had such a nice poster inside where you see the three girls. And there you go. Love that Mary Wilson. So I thought it was nice to have it, and you know, it's affordable, so that's the thing, you know, you want to try to loosen up traffic or that tightness in your collection, but you can't resist a good deal. All right, now we're going to see the ultimate in this situation. Of culling records, trying to get rid of records, and then being unable to resist. Now, when I made my culling video, I did mention that over in the closet over there, I had to put my Frank Sinatra records and my Connie Francis records and my Christmas records because they wouldn't all fit in this Calyx record cabinet. But that didn't stop me from buying another Sinatra record. Well, I say buying. This one was free, actually. My record store owner threw this in for free, and the only reason I got it was because it has the rarer cover where Sinatra's looking away from the couple. Most of the common copies have him looking at the couple. So it was free, and again, I got this album already in nice shape, but I'm trying to get rid of records and I'm getting more instead. It's a disease, folks. But this will go easily enough into the Sinatra. I'm pretty much done with Frank Sinatra. I mean, I haven't counted them. I must have like 60 or more records by Sinatra. But get a load of this now. You think that I'm trying to save space, right? Look what I wound up getting here. I found this cheap. A bunch of 78 albums. This one I had already had. Songs by Sinatra on Columbia. But this was in really beautiful shape. The one I had was kind of ratty, kind of broken. The spine was chewed up. This one has a really nice spine on it, if it comes through here. But anyway, it's there. So I like collecting 78s. When I can find a nice 78 set like this, or individual 78s, I want to add it. I mean, Frank Sinatra, like I said, I got 78 collections in the closet, standing up against the wall. But here's another one from the same collection that I found. The Voice of Frank Sinatra in Columbia. An album set, 78s. And, you know, it's got the binding again, nice and fresh, intact. I mean, how can you resist these if you're a collector and you want 78s in such good shape? Here's another one, Frank Sinatra, Frankly Sentimental on Columbia. Same deal. You know, the album is really in good shape, the records. 78s. And, again, you know, nice spine. What is this I found? Oh, I just found something inside. Well, anyway, the spine, yeah, spine's intact. What did I just find in here? I'm waiting for the time when I find like $100 bill or something stuck in these records. Oh, this is interesting. It's a Merry Christmas. Look at this. Somebody got this for Christmas, this album. It says, to Jimmy from the Massicks. So the Massick family gave this to Jimmy on a Christmas. It's nice to have. I think I'll just keep it in there just for fun. So anyway, there's my 78s. So as you can see, even though I'm trying to get rid of Sinatra albums, or stop collecting Sinatra. I mean, Frank Sinatra is somebody I'm done with. I mean, I have enough. I have more than I'll probably listen to. But I got on a real collector's craze for a while. And I think that other than some really interesting items, 78s, EPs, 45s with sleeves, something really like nice for you know, aesthetic purposes. I don't think for musical purposes, I think I'm done. But along those lines, one more album, Connie Francis. Yep, you know Connie. This is an album, The Exciting Connie Francis. I saw this. I don't have it in my collection yet, and I'm collecting all her album covers. So this is one that I have, and she's also in the closet. And as I say, not because I'm doing a diss for Sinatra or Connie Francis. It's just that, you know, there's so much of their stuff that it would take up a lot of this cabinet. Now, before I go, I'm going to show some 7-inch records, and some of them are interesting. I'm going to start with this one. This is Bookends, Simon and Garfunkel. It's a jukebox EP. Which I always wondered about that. They used to have jukeboxes that played EPs, you know, and it's got the spindle hole like that. That's interesting. I mean, what did they do? They had like six songs on a jukebox. You'd play all 6 songs. It's almost like listening to half an album. It is like listening to half an album. Also, in this same vein, I got a hold of this, which was a Tom Jones. And again, another example, I said it in my culling video that I don't need all the Tom Jones stuff. I mean, I'm happy with the Tom Jones hits collection, just his biggest songs. But when I find an item like this, this was $3. For $3, to find another, you know, jukebox EP that's unusual on, you know, conversation piece, and the old spindle, Parrot Records, which is a label I always like. You know, I'm going to add that to my 45 collection EP. And by the way, I think these play on 33 speed. I'm not 100% sure. I can't really call them 45s. I think they play on 33 RPM, 33 and a third. Let's see. I'm using a lot more time here than I wanted to. I know long videos are hard to watch, but you can always bounce forward to them, right? Here's, in a Beatles video recently, I talked about a woman who had a collection, a British woman. She was, I think she was 67 years old, she said, and she had bought a lot of these when she was a little girl, so I got a bunch of original 45s, I think they're originals. This is, again, Simon and Garfunkel. This is Mrs. Robinson, UK single. And the B-side is Old Friends with bookends on it. So there's one. Don't know if this is original or not. You know, the UK single. It's the Kinks. You Really Got Me. UK. B-side is It's All Right. Yep, It's All Right. Keeping with the UK 45s, here's a Beach Boys one. Beach Boys, or Capital, Good Vibrations. And the B-side would be Wendy. Last one I'm going to show for this video is the last 7-inch. It's, go later to 1970s, and it's one of my all-time favorite 70s songs, Rock Your Baby by George McRae. And on an interesting UK little spindle. It's got Rock Your Baby Part 2 on the other side. So that was it for this video. Thanks as always for watching. As you can see, I'm still trying to liquidate. I mean, it doesn't look like it, right? When you watch somebody's videos and it looks like you're not really accomplishing anything, but this stuff that I'm going to be eliminating in favor of adding the new. And I'm having a good time here listening to records. There's already 2 albums that I played here, right up here. My turntable's right up here, and my speakers are right here. It's right in front of me. So all the time when I'm typing here online on this laptop here, I'm able to listen to all my music right here in my face. I listen to a lot more records just sitting here than I did in my old place, where there was a turntable in the living room, and I had to really go in there and make a big event out of listening to the records. So I'm going to be doing some first time spins videos of what I thought of new albums that I had never heard before. Thanks again, folks. Have a good day.